everybody, Lisa Sabaniak from lifelikeyoumeanit.com, and I apologize I didn't give you any notice about going live today. This is just a little bit of an impromptu for me, and don't mind that noise, my printer's just having a meltdown. So I thought I would come on and talk really quick with you about mindset today, because I am on Friday this week, I am going to be heading into London to hold a focused discussion group on Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life, which is basically all about mindset. And this is going to be at the 8th Annual International Conference for Women, Health and Society. So it's really, really cool that there's going to be a whole bunch of health practitioners that are going to be there, people that have had their work published, that are going to be presenting, and that I get this opportunity to go in and talk about the importance of mindset on our well-being and on our life in general. And it occurred to me as I was creating the presentation for this that some people might not actually understand what a mindset really is, or more importantly, they might not understand why it's so important. We see it out there all the time, right? There's so much on the internet, in Facebook and Instagram, all over the place on social media about changing your mindset and how important that is. Except there might be some people that don't actually understand why that would be a big deal. How in the world would thinking positively actually impact my life, like whatever. And so I thought I would jump on here real quick and answer that. So by all means, if you're watching, if you could give me a thumbs up or a heart or some kind of emoji, if you could write a comment in, I would love to hear from you and answer any questions that you have. So let's get right into it, shall we? A mindset, to me, does not have anything to do with you being perfect. It doesn't mean that you are always positive, that you never allow yourself to feel anger or disappointment or sadness or grief or fear or anxiety or anything else. It doesn't mean that you cut yourself off emotionally from anything that isn't positive. It doesn't mean that when you've got something that happens that is not according to your plan, that does not seem to be what you were wanting or hoping for, and could even be something that is traumatic or disappointing in some sort of way, it does not mean, having a positive mindset does not mean that you are not able to recognize that you are not able to honor that you are not able to grieve that loss of that job that you had gone out for, or that person, or whatever it is. It does not mean that. Having a positive mindset instead means that you are able to honor those feelings, that you are able to recognize them and acknowledge them and even give them space to be there, but that you don't allow them to linger, that you choose how you are going to react to those types of things. So rather than it being that you always see the positive side, you always see the silver lining on that cloud, and you never see the cloud itself, that you are able to see that cloud, but you choose to look for that silver lining. Thank you so much, Lisa, for that like and being here. So for me, what that looks like is on a day-to-day basis, there are things that I plan out. Oh, thanks, you love my new hairdo. I just got it done this morning. Thanks, Lisa. So for me, when something goes wrong in my day, of course it does. Just because I'm a positive person and I have a positive mindset doesn't mean that I don't end up with disappointment in my day. There's lots of times where I am going about my day and things don't go exactly according to plan. And I acknowledge that. I allow myself to feel that disappointment. I allow myself to even sometimes feel that grow. I do acknowledge that, and I do allow myself to feel that, but only for a brief period of time. And then, oh, sorry, I look like I'm losing connection. Sorry if I am there. I decide at that point, when I recognize that this is happening, that I am going to look at this in a different way. So when something isn't going my way, I'll take a step back from that and ask myself, is this really truly a failure, or is this actually a redirection? Is this actually an opportunity that's presenting itself for me to do things a bit differently? You know, maybe I'm not supposed to be able to do this, this, and this the way that I planned out today, because maybe that frees me up to do this. And it's just about looking at it differently. And here's why that matters. Because if I choose to look at things as a failure when they don't go the way that I want, then I'm going to end up surrounding myself in disappointment. I'm going to surround myself in fear, and I'm going to make choices in my very near and distant future that are going to be around those negative thoughts. I'm going to end up deciding to not step out and try that again, or do this new thing over here, or whatever it is, because last time it didn't work. Right? I'm going to have a fear of failure, which is going to hold me back. It's going to end up changing the way that I live my life. It's going to change the decisions that I make and the choices that I make. Whereas if I decide to look at that thing going wrong, not going according to plan, if I choose to look at that as a new opportunity, allow myself to honor those feelings of having grief and remorse or guilt or whatever it is, grief even for having that loss of things not going according to my plan, but choose to spin it and look at it as something positive, trying to find the positive within that, then that means that the next time that I go to put myself out there or make a plan or whatever it is, I am not going to be surrounded by fear of failure. I'm going to instead be surrounded by hope. Hope that it is possible that this time things will go in this way, but a knowledge of my own strength that if it doesn't go that way, I will be able to acknowledge that immediately and follow suit so I get myself on my right track. It ends up making me being filled with confidence and security and strength in myself, rather than allowing myself to feel weakness, regret, guilt, grief on a daily, irregular basis. I hope that makes sense. So the reason why it is important to be able to do that is because of how it influences all the other decisions that you make. And I hope that what I'm getting across here is that this is all a matter of choice, right? And I know that that's a very hard thing to hear. And I needed to hear that in order to make the changes that I made in my life. Back a couple of decades ago, when I decided to go on my healing journey, I needed to learn those very harsh words, that the person that was keeping myself in that negative hole, that person that was looking at things so negatively and always seeing the downside of everything, was me, that I was putting myself there. Nobody else had control over that. That was all me. Now, it may have been a reflection, absolutely, of all of the things that I had gone through beforehand. Of course, I had learned to put myself in that place, but I had nobody else to blame for keeping myself in that place but me. In my case, my abuse was well over by that time, right? I was choosing to continue to abuse myself by continuing that negative psychological mantra. I was continuing to abuse myself by pushing myself deeper and deeper into the hole. My abuser didn't do that. He did the first 10 years of abuse, absolutely, but he did not do any of the remainder. I did. And I would continue to keep doing that if I didn't hear those very, very crucial, powerful, yet very deep and disturbing to hear sometimes, that this was all on me. And that I had the choice, and more importantly, I had the power to change that. Now, it is hard. It's not something that happens overnight, and it requires constant effort. Still, me at 44 years old, I still have to make sure that I am doing this every time that I feel disappointment or fear of failure or grief or sorrow or sadness or anything that happens that makes me go into a negative place. Of course that still happens. Of course that is still my immediate response, but it does not stay my response. I have the power to choose how I'm going to react, and I choose to find the positive. because that then impacts the whole rest of my life. So you also have this same power. It does take work, it does take effort, but you are worth that. If I think so, and I've never even met you, I hope that you think so. And why in the world can I possibly say that? Because we are all connected. We are all one, right? It's the same energy flowing through me that's flowing through you. So even though I may have never met you personally, I know that you are worth it, because by saying that you're not worth it is the same as saying that I'm not worth it. And I know my worth and value. So if I've got worth and value, then so do you. So changing your mindset is possible. It is very important, and it all comes down to you and the choices that you are willing to make for how you choose to see things in your life, how you choose to act, and how you choose to react on a regular basis. So if you didn't get a chance to catch me live here, I would love for you to still put your comments, still give me some likes and hearts and emojis and whatnot. Show me that you did take a look at it afterwards. Put in your comments or your questions, and I'll always go back and have a look at them later. Bless, and I hope that that was helpful. I hope that the power of that, knowing that you have the power, is what you took away from this, right? You have the power. I feel like singing now. You have the power. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day.